Hello, hello, hello. My name is Cora, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to MoondayLabs. This is our first video here, and I am super, super excited to get into this reading. This week's reading is going to be for the week, today's reading is going to be for the week of October 23rd to October 29th. So we're just going to tap into the energy, the collective energy that this week will have in store for us. Then we will see what we learned last week, how we can use that this week, and then just advice from spirit. So general vibes, what we learned last week, how we can use that this week, and then advice from spirit. Okay, first card, 8 of Coins. Okay. A lot of unsavory stuff. It's kind of like the bottom of the barrel and having to sort of scrape it all out and clean it in order for you to be able to use it again. So it's just going to be kind of like, it's going to be a routine week. It's going to be kind of boring, honestly. I don't think a lot is going to happen. It's just going to be one of those weeks where, first of all, it's going to feel eternal. It's going to feel like it's going forever and it's never going to end. And it's not necessarily heavy. It just is, you know? There's a lot of stagnant energy as well coming from the card. I'm sensing a lot of sort of just, I haven't dealt with this and I will deal with it tomorrow. The me of tomorrow will have to deal with this. And you keep on saying that and saying that and saying that. And now everything has just piled up and you have to sort of just deal with it. That's kind of the vibes for the week. What did we learn last week? Ace of Swords. Now, in order for you to have new beginnings, you have to unravel the things that are right in front of you first. What I'm seeing is this sort of un pastizal. How do you say pastizal in English? High grass? A plain of high grass. And you have to, with a machete, and you have to like cut through all the grass in order to make your own path. That's kind of what you learned last week. That's kind of the thing that we have most in our head. That is the latest lesson, that we have to put in the work. We have to cut down all of the things that are in front of us if we want to make new beginnings happen. It's up to us to decide when and to decide how as well. How are we going to use that this week? Ace of Coins reversed. Oh God, honestly, I don't think a lot of us will probably use this in the way that it is meant to be used. I'm sensing sort of this block of like, you don't think that you are worthy of what this new beginning is giving you. You think of yourself. It's kind of, oh my God, definitely we're going to deal with a lot of the self-worth questions in our head. Yeah, it's just, especially when it comes to new things coming into our lives. And I feel like that's also the clutter speaking. I also think that the clutter has a mind of its own, and it will weigh down on us. Like, it will talk to us. Like how depression talks to us, how anxiety talks to us. It's kind of like that. It's a little devil on our shoulders. And it's just kind of like, you have like this really big pile of things. Do you really want to ask for more? First of all, this pile is lying. This abstract pile of clutter that speaks, it's lying to you. Okay? First of all, you're worthy just because you exist. So let's get that out of the way. And yeah, this pile of clutter is meant to be dealt with. You know, it doesn't necessarily want you to deal with it as well. It wants you to just keep piling on and piling on and piling on. And then the shame of having this clutter is going to like drown you, and like that's what it wants, you know? It just wants and wants and wants. It's that sort of like human greed. Yeah, it's the sin of greed, basically. So yeah. Message from spirit. Actually, I feel like I didn't, but I feel like this message from spirit will tie to this Ace of Coins, which is how we're going to use this energy in the coming week. Okay, look at this card specifically. This is La Llorona. And she is being held down by this hand right here. And they're pulling her. You know how I was speaking about this clutter speaking to you, and it's like pulling you in, and it wants you in there, and it wants you to drown in it. That's kind of like what's happening with this. And Spirit is telling us, like, look, sure, you might have spilled some cups, but look at the bright side, okay? Look at the silver lining. It's up to us to turn around and see what is left and what we can recover. Because again, these cups, we can pick them up quite easily, you know? We just pick them up, fill them up again, and then continue on. But sometimes we allow our grief, we allow this pain, we allow these outside forces to like speak to us and put us down, you know? And we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to have to deal with it, but it's just something tedious that we have to get through in order for us to get to our main goal. We think that, I feel like with the culture that we are currently in, this hustle culture, it's really hard for people to just sort of do things in their own time, you know? We are meant to achieve the most in 24 hours, and if you didn't, you're a failure. Like, no, that's bullshit. I don't like that. I don't like that sort of energy that our current society and capitalism is forcing upon us, because it's forced upon us, you know? And this is where, you know, work and life balance comes in and all of that. But we have to think ourselves worthy of this, because part of what capitalism does is that it alienates us. You know, Karl Marx was talking about this in his book. Do I remember the name of the book? Super famous book. Just out of my brain. Anyways, Karl Marx was talking about this, how capitalism alienates you, and that's how it's meant to work. It's meant to make you feel alone. It's meant to make you feel small. But we are community creatures. We are creatures of community. I don't know how that is best said. We are not meant to be alone. We are meant to build each other up. And that is something that we have lost, you know? So I feel like the way that we can use this sort of energy is talking to other people. It's reaching out and being like, hey, I'm kind of like really down in the gutter right now. I need some reassurance. I need a little pick-me-up, you know? If you have a support system that allows this, amazing, beautiful. If you don't, sometimes we just have to be our own support system, you know? Not everybody has that blessing of having community. And this is why I feel like it's so important as well to have communities like this online, because it makes us feel less alone. It makes us feel less alone, you know? There's nothing really bigger than that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. In summary, okay? Eight of Coins, the energy that will be coming into this week. It's just something tedious, something that we have to deal with. It's decluttering. Ace of Swords, again, there's a path that is blocked, and we need to make our own path. Like, we need to shop down our own path and make our own way. Ace of Coins, how we are going to use this lesson that we learned in the past week. How are we going to use it this week? We're going to use it in order to fight the outside chatter, that pulls us down, and makes us feel alone. That's how we're going to use it, because again, we are capable of doing this, and if we look back at our track record, it'll motivate us in order to like work a little bit, just work, you know. So yes, and 5 of coins, which is just message from spirit. You can pick yourself up. You are allowed to pick yourself up. You don't have to drown in your grief, okay? And there's also people out there that wish you well. And not just wish you well, but they wish to see you shine. They see you shine brighter, you know? They wish to see you shine brighter. Okay, so the rest of the video got cut off. So in summary, it's gonna be a tedious week. It's just gonna be kind of like routine, where we are going to have to really decide that today is the day and push on forwards with the plans that you had of specifically decluttering, and getting sort of kind of like a fresh new start. But this is what happens before the fresh new start, because again, all of this clutter is just making you feel worse about a lot of things. I feel like it's bled out into more aspects of your life. Maybe it started in one place and then it just bled out into everything. And we're not going to be able to use this unless we battle with kind of like our self-worth. So it's a lot of things that are tied into this. But at the end of the day, the message that we have here is kind of a message of hope, of everything will be okay eventually, you know. Maybe it'll take time. It will take us all different amounts of time, but eventually we will get there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for our reading, our first reading. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Anyways, yes, this has been our vibe check for October 23rd to October 29th. Ooh, a lot came up. I feel like we started talking about how boring the week is going to be, and then suddenly we're talking about deconstructing our ideas of what capitalism is and how it affects us. I don't know what I was talking about. I go on these rants and I just black out. When I watch back the video, oof, it's gonna be a time. Anyways, this has been it. My name is Cora again, and yeah, I do a bunch of cool stuff on my Instagram. I post weekly vibe checks as well on there, but personal readings, those are personal readings. You get to send me a little emoji, and I get to give you a 1-card reading of how your week specifically is gonna go. So yeah, check that out. Check out my Instagram. I also have a TikTok. It's collecting cobwebs right now, but soon, okay? So yeah, this has been it. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I want to thank the moon. I want to thank the sun. I want to thank you for allowing me to gift you these messages, and thank you to our spirits for allowing us to be in communion. Thank you for allowing us to receive in love. I return now in love.